Alrighty, this is a quick little, I'll do a couple videos. Oh, that bright, that got light, bright, I can't speak. That got bright. Turn some lights on around here. So you start to see how things form. This is a shop update. We haven't done any updates for the channel in a while. Thought maybe it was a good idea. So, general shop is functional. Turns out, I don't know if I mentioned this before in my last video, there was a closet here and it had a little wall there, okay? Turns out this ceiling was not fully stable. I got to get up there and throw a beam up inside there. So, yeah, we have to live with that for now. We took this little short wall out and that was kind of like, it noticeably dipped. But anyway, this building is the least of my worries. The process thus far, because our big saw is not working. Not that it's not working, it's not connected. It's not powered. It's out in the breezeway still, and we just not got to it. It's one of those things that's like, gotta have a set amount of money to throw at that and know that you could spend that before trying. And so money is tight, and so right now the money is all reserved for having knives made and having a local mill create some of these moldings, which I will show you in a minute what we are going to do there. But so far I've been cutting everything on this and it's fine. It's not exactly precise, but it's close enough, and the saw is actually fine. It's the jig that's not very precise, and this is the jig. This is the jig that we have made for this molding anyway. For now, because that's what I have. By the time I get to another molding, I'm going to have the other saw going up. So I can cut all this molding up. I can cut the small molding up with this jig. And so we've got this block, which is it is the height of the saw. So it's our block for this end of the moldings, right? When we need to cut this edge. Right, so we can make this corner cut for now. This is like poor man's way of doing everything here, but it's fine, it works. Then we're gonna, so we cut a bunch of those ends, then we turn it back this other way, and then this is where this block now, we'll have to probably make another block, but I can hold it, right? So it's not going to fall. It's only on this first cut, but it's like 6 feet out here that I need that block. So put that there. 14. It's right there. Boom. And that is the corner for 14. Cut a bunch of 14s. Then I got 12s. Line it up on the lines and move this in. This just kind of scooches in straight. And then this balances off of it in different spots. So we got jig there for that molding for 14s, 12s, 9s, and 8s. And I think there's a 16. Maybe I haven't made the 16 yet. I haven't made any 16s. I swear I have made 16s. I think some of these are 16. So I think I have, oh, no, I haven't. So 14s is as big as I've gotten right now. And then we build our little frames. We're building a corner sample here because we forgot to do that when we were putting all this together. These are in second coat. I had to sand the crap out of them because spraying is, haven't done it in a long time. New gun, small compressor, settings are just, had to figure it out. So my first coat of spray with the yellow was really rough. So I had to come back and just sand all of these in the clay. This one's a little rough right there. I'll have to hit that again. I'm going to water polish these in a second. I almost don't need to because they're going to be black. They came out really well. And when this frame's together, I actually kind of like it. It's a little busy. It's hard to do anything other than just black with this profile because it starts getting really busy. But you could probably do gold on this. inner lip. But really, I would just do like a gold flat fillet if I did anything, and then just do black still. So we have this molding that we get from California. That's one of their stock profiles. And we're going to have our new shop, our mill here locally in Little Rock. We've looked around. There's a few different mills. A couple of them didn't respond. They weren't interested. The Little Rock mill responded and like, yeah, we're game. Let's give me your business, basically. So we're going to modify this profile. So the orange here is what it is currently. You can see it's like that and that, and it's this that I don't like as much, and this little back cut that I don't really like as much. So we're actually going to try to have them take it from this to this and just give me a nice big back scoop, a nice big top flat surface that I can leaf. This is largely the same. Flatten the bottom out because there's no reason to just have an extra angle on the bottom of the frame. That's just going to cost me money to have that knife made. Cut this corner off, square it off so it makes it a little easier. And then if this can go much bigger, if this frame goes much bigger than like 16, it starts to look funny because it's not very deep. And so we have to build it out, and having this squared off makes that much easier to do, to make this a little taller. Get rid of some of the little details in the center here. Just do a scoop, bump, scoop, tiny lip to there, instead of all this little stuff. So as good as this frame looks in these sizes, we might still just order it from California once in a while, because it's one that doesn't cost extra, to order a bunch of, or a little bit at a time. And then we're going to build a couple custom ones. Another one that I'm going to have modified, that we have from that same mill that we're going to steal, is this one. And I like this. Okay, this has a lot of potential for things in this size, for just a little gold, and maybe has another piece. It's not really showing up on camera very well. And then this one. And these two, this one I'm probably just going to have them steal directly. Just copy that directly, right? That doesn't need anything. It's the same. But I like this one, but I don't like it looking like a little dinosaur or whatever. Straighten it out. Give it nice 3 defined steps on the front, 2 defined steps on the back, 1 little step there. Boom. And it does everything that this profile can do, but it's a lot easier to work with. And the reason we're doing those two, I'm gonna have them make that and make that. So I need knives for that, knives for that, knives for that. Right? It's getting expensive, isn't it? And then we're going to continue to use this frame. I think this will go over really well out here, which I have a sample of somewhere. I had a sample of somewhere. I don't know where they go. But I actually like this frame. Yeah, it's underneath there. Because we're not going to get to look at that. And then I've made this. This is the first thing that I've made. And this is the reason that I bought these. Okay? So I had a bunch of barnwood slats. And I thought, I want to do something with those. And maybe order a piece that I can just put a little lip on. So I ordered this stuff. Well, let me go show you what we have over here. So this is the stuff that I ordered originally to play with. Those two small things. This is a different frame that I like, but we're not going to talk about that one right now. That one was a mistake. And it's just this. It's just a little tiny It's just a little tiny thing, right? It's just a little tiny lip that you can glue on to something. Okay. And I thought that would look great just to glue onto a slat of like a barnwood type stuff. Maybe not this in particular, but maybe just a hardwood plank. That didn't look good. So we recessed the plank and put it down there and just created this piece. Created this profile. Now it needs to come down a little bit. Didn't I just copy this straight? Oh, yeah. No, see, I don't know why I drew that different. So this is the line. And it's just this piece. And what we do with that piece is it can be a frame by itself if you wanted. Or you can have this piece on the outer edge of it. You can have this piece on the outer edge of it. Right? It works with the round. It's a pretty smart looking little frame. And it works with this, which is a pretty smart little frame, right? This one we would have to level off the top of that inner thing so it's flat, so it relates. But those are nice, two nice little frames out of, well, it's four nice little frames out of 3 moldings. And it could go on, it could also go with this piece. So it can be this with that. I mean, it's basically the same as the piece that goes with that, just smaller. Right, this is the piece that goes with that, right? So yeah. So that's what we're doing for molding for now. That is what the stock will be. That is what things will look like. That is all we're gonna have. Unless somebody wants to custom order stuff, and then in which case we can order any kind of molding that you want, right? And the other one that I want, that I'm going to throw together and just to have, this is like, just like, hey, look, I can have nice big gilded, and I might come up with a carve on these. I don't know how carvable this one is or what to do with it. If I did, I think you could carve something in here, you could carve something up here. I think if I did anything with this on a carve wise, I think I would do some sort of pattern in this panel right here. And it's a big beast. It's a 4-inch, that's 3.5 inches, that profile. It's a really great looking profile for some larger pieces, some larger frames. I think those will be fun. I've got a little bit of that. So that is what we're doing. That is the state of the shop. Still figuring things out. Still hesitating to pull the trigger on actually having these knives made, just because, you know, financial things. We're waiting, that sort of stuff. Got these 7 proof of concepts. It's really just a proof of concept of, can I do this with just this saw? Turns out I can. It's a little labor intensive, but you know, that's where we're at right now. And I think the 7 of these, if I can sell them, and I'll continue to make the rest of that molding up now. I'll make a new jig for 16 and then put the rest of these canvases, 1624s and whatever, in. And then we will take that batch of all of this molding, all these identical frames. They're all going to be black, sold with canvas or without canvas. And we're going to take them all up to a art show festival type, you know, try and sell them out of a booth and give people cards and try and get some business, you know, try and get some clients signed up to order stuff. Get some photographs of these to go up on the website. Just say, hey, this is a standard that we do. These will probably be special order. I don't know. I haven't decided. They will be limited in size though. These I will not build up above 16, I don't think, in general. I think they look really great in this size. This is 14. This is, what is this, 11 by 14? They look great in that size. Anything bigger than that, they start feeling really weak because of this angle. in my opinion. And I'm noticing a lot of the artists in this near vicinity. I mean, so the area that we cover, are going to cover, is massive. It's going to extend from anything from Dallas to Nashville to Kansas City to down into Louisiana, right? That's the area that I will be able to service. It's all, you know, basically anything within a 8, 9, 10 hour driving range, which Dallas is not that far. Dallas is like 5 hours. Memphis is like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours. Kansas City is the furthest on that. It's 8 hours straight north. But the artists that I'm seeing in this general area doing that kind of, doing fine art, like really good stuff, they kind of stay in these sizes. These are, some of these are a little small, but they kind of stay in this 11 by 14 to 1620 range. And then when they go a lot bigger than that, much bigger than that, they end up doing like a canvas, a gallery wrap, and they don't do a lot of framing and stuff. Or they just do like, there's chop and joint frames shops everywhere, you know. So a lot of them will throw something like that on there. They'll throw something like this. It kind of looks okay, you know, and it's pretty cheap to get that into like a 30-36. You can't, having me do one of these frames in a 30-36 is, you know, considerably more expensive than just putting one of these on there, and they look fine. So I'm really hoping that I can just steal all of this mid-range market and some of the small. There are actually quite a few artists doing really small works, like 5x7s and 4x6 and just kind of stuff in like this size. This is one of my first paintings that's 5x7 ish. I don't know, it's not written on there, but yeah, there's a lot of artists doing stuff in this kind of size range, this kind of stuff, tiny stuff, which I love, and I love to frame that kind of stuff. This is the size range I work in when I paint, which I don't paint very often because, well, it's a luxury of time at this point. But anyway, that is the shop update. That's where we're at. What we're doing today, we're going to water polish these and get the last little bits of roughness off of them, which I'm always a little bit more picky than I need to be. These actually feel really great. A quick water polish will, I mean, these will be amazing. And then when those dry, we'll get these finished later today. And then I'll tack on that video before I upload this somewhere, I guess.